For example, in many places, the senior citizens of countries are forgotten. It's like their time is over. It's like they did a lot of work. They retired. They went into their own homes, and the world moves on. But there is another category of people that we rarely talk about, yet they have a unique set of challenges and require a unique set of support and empowerment. The young married people. And most specifically, that young married man. And today, we are talking about empowering the young married man. And with me in studio is a young married man. He is going to be telling us about his life, about his journey into marriage, about how long he's been in marriage, about how he is finding it, about the challenges he's going through, and a number of other colleagues, what they go through, and what kind of support and empowerment they actually need, and from who, so that going forward, we can also address their plight and also listen to their narrative and equip them to become great family leaders in their generation and beyond. Welcome, Dr. Oluka, Edwin Noah in studio.
Thank you.
How are you, young married man?
I am a very happy young married man.
Is that so?
Yes, indeed. Yes.
Good to have you here.
Yes, good to be here. I'm very glad to be here.
Thank you.
Yes.
How have you been?
I have been well. It has been seasons.
No, we are not talking. I'm not greeting you.
Hey.
I am asking you truly.
Hey.
How have you been?
Yes.
It's not a greeting. This is not a greeting.
Yes. So I am well, meaning seasons in, seasons out.
Yes.
Marriage is like the seasons. So many seasons in, seasons out. I have been married not so long, and I have already experienced a couple of seasons.
Yes.
And all these seasons are like shaping me or grooming me more to become a man who will reflect Christ, to become a fine man.
Yes.
So I am fine.
I hear you.
Yes.
Great to have you here, truly. And I would like you to look into that camera and say hi to the viewers that we have today, and also introduce yourself a little bit more for people to know who you are.
All right. Welcome to our viewers today. I am Oluka Edwin Noah. I am a very happy husband, as I have mentioned. Married not so long ago to my very dear friend, Dr. Ruth Kiza Amoti Oluka. She was a Munyoro, now she's a Mteso by tribe.
Are you sure? You should just say she is a Munyoro married to a Mteso.
No, the two have become one. Yes, I am a servant of Christ. I serve at St. John's Church, Kamocha. I am a seasoned worshiper there. That is the choir. I am a son to Dr. Emron Francis and Professor Lydia Emron. I am a practicing doctor, a physician in training. And yes, that is, I had forgotten, I am a proud and happy member of the Fathers Union at St. John's Church, Kamocha. And yes, a lot more will come as we go on.
Yeah,
Yes.
You're very welcome.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. Now let's go to the Genesis.
Yes.
Let's start from the start.
Yes.
From the origins of things.
Yes.
You've just talked about your dad. You've just mentioned your dad.
Yeah.
Dr. George Francis Emron.
Yes.
A man who served at the Central Bank of Uganda for about 30 years.
Yes, he did, yeah.
And I'm told that was the only job he ever worked at.
Yes.
Right from the university,
Yes.
he went to the Central Bank of Uganda and worked at that place, moved through the ranks up to a very high level of director and all that in 30 years, and retired honorably and went home and is now serving in the community. Even now is a proprietor, a founder of a university, and is still busy making things happen. So let's begin from that very point. What was your dad's impact on the man you now are while growing up?
My dad's impact has been very immense to the man that I am today. there's so much that he is and that has done. And just to mention but a few, my dad has a childlike love for Christ. His passion for the Lord is just overwhelming, and has actually contributed significantly to also me being part of the choir.
Okay.
One of the beautiful things that the memories, I have very many of these, and I'm sure you have participated in a number of them as well. But my dad, just a case, we are in choir, we are having Thanksgiving, as we are singing this, the congregation has come forward, they have given their seed that they are giving and the thanks that they are giving to the Lord, and a beautiful song is played. And I'm telling you, Dad could not stay seated.
Yeah.
He stood up from his seat where he was. He danced right there. And he ran to the front. Actually, he's running to the front. He was being led there as well. Yes, by our own president of the Fathers Union.
Yours truly.
Yes, yours truly. And they danced from the front. Before we knew it, I couldn't stay where I was. And there were a number of young men who joined us in front, and we just danced for the Lord and praised him. And this has happened a couple of times where he himself has run forward. His passion for the Lord is not just in sitting and flipping the word, but acting it out. And that has been very beautiful. From the time that we were very young, him leading us to church, it has just built up a desire for me to be childlike before the Lord and dance before him and sing before him. Another amazing thing that is there about my father that has impacted me today is his love for his wife. The way he holds her. She's like this breakable that would break any moment. You should not extend and hold it roughly. Never in my life have I had my father raise his voice to my mother. He has
like shouting at
shouting.
Her. Yes.
The only time he raises a voice towards her is in deep laughter. And the way he holds her, like this is the most important person to him. After Christ, like just gave me a yearning as well to be that kind of man, one who will hold his wife with a dear tender touch. And it's just beautiful the way they will walk together. He's holding hands with her. They're coming back home. He's back home exactly 6 o'clock. The gentleman is back from work, while other people
and like people who reach home at midnight.
Yes, and this is consistently throughout his 30 years.
Really?
And he was always there. And then they would go for evening walks, pull us along, and we get to see this the way he holds her. It just made me smile. And I pray that I am and continue being this kind of man to my wife. Yes.
Interesting.
Yes. That's among the few things that Dad has impacted significantly on me.
That is so significant. This morning I was speaking to a team of parents. We're about 30 of them. And I was speaking about intentional parenting for family legacy. And one of the questions I left them with, which you have now answered in a way, was, what will your children speak about you in their adulthood? About what you were looking like, how you spoke, how you lived life, your character, your behavior. What will be the testimony of your own children? So my call to action was that we need to be intentional parents who do things deliberately in order to have a powerful, positive impact on our own children. So later, when they are speaking about us, whether we are there or we are not there, the story is as glowing as I'm hearing yours. It's very amazing. Now, honestly, why did you later choose to get married? I'm told that some people who are in marriage want to jump out. Those who are out are clamoring to get in. Now for you, why did you choose to get married as a young man?
Yes, as a young man, like I have mentioned, how dad took care and still takes care of his beloved wife. That itself just imprinted on me. I want to hold someone that tenderly, and a desire to be held so, because the way mom holds him, you will think this is a man made of diamond, like he is the most precious being on the planet. Yeah, and to be held like that and to hold someone like that, and growing up in scripture and in the word, desiring to reflect God, like his design. Scripture says not everyone is actually meant for this in Matthew 19:22. Yeah, that not everyone is actually designed for this. However,
for what?
Yeah, for marriage.
Okay.
Yeah, there are some people who are 12, not 22. Matthew 19:12. But then, yes, but then there are some that God has designed. This way marriage is meant to reflect him. And I've always had a desire to reflect him that way, to have a companion that is my ride or die, that I will share with, and they will see me and know me and understand me, my weaknesses and my strengths.
Yes.
And someone through whom I will learn patience and be groomed to be more like Christ. That came and grew through the study of scripture, but from seeing that old mom, that from a tender age made me want to value someone that much and be valued that much. Yeah.
You didn't have any other motivations that can even be physical, that can even be emotional?
Oh,
were you only motivated by seeing your dad and mom, or you had other motivations for getting married?
After having that, the rest just falls in line.
Yes.
Both the physical, the emotional support. Yeah, it's a whole package.
It's a package.
Yes, it is a whole package.
Now, it's time to release the cat out of the bag. How long have you been married, and how has it been so far?
Yes, I have been married 139 days now.
When you hear somebody tell you in terms of days, you know they've been married for a few months.
Yes!
So they make it sound
You're
big,
not going
big.
to convert 16 years to days, except me, maybe. But yes, the number has to be big.
Yes.
It feels like I have been married 20 years. Oh my goodness.
So how many months are those? Make it simple for some people whose mathematics is not as good.
It was 20th April, and we shall be making 5 months in about 11 days.
Yes, in the next about 2
about
weeks,
13 days,
you're making
2 weeks,
5 months in marriage.
We'll be making 5 months in marriage.
Let me first tell you, congratulations.
Thank you.
Do you know that I've seen people who never made it to 3 months in marriage, who never made it 2 months? A friend of mine amazed me. He is into the events management space.
Okay.
In fact, at our wedding, my dear wife and I, at our wedding, that gentleman is the one who did decorations for us, photography and videography, provided the cake and also the tables at the reception.
Wow.
So he told me a story where he did the same. He did photography and videography for a certain couple. He did the photography for the giveaway ceremony, the girl's side, and also did the same for their wedding. Now, 2 weeks later, he takes the album to the home of the lady, the parents, and when he reaches there, he meets the girl. So he says, "Hey, I thought you were in honeymoon." And the girl's face is not that amused. She says, "Well, I'm here." He says, I've brought the album. And the girl says, "Yeah, take it to mom. She's in the sitting room." You know, with that face.
Oh my God.
So this friend of mine wonders what's going on here. He gets in, finds the mother of the bride in the house, puts the albums on the table, and the woman receives them without any smile or anything, just puts them aside, does not check them. So only to realize that this girl had already left the marriage in 2 weeks. 2. Reason: incompatible, irreconcilable differences. I don't know what that is. I don't know whether there were parts of the body that were not found to be there. I don't know. Irreconcilable in 2 weeks.
That is sad.
So you, Dr. Oluka, who is making 5 months, congratulations.
Thank you.
We thank God for you. Thank you for the journey.
It is not my strength. It is not my strength.
So how has it been, truly, over the last 5 months. What has been your experience as a young married man?
Yes, as a young married man, this has been quite an interesting season. Yeah, the excitement, anticipation of the wedding, reaching the wedding day with all the joy, waking up the next morning.
And you are two of you.
Yes, you're two of you.
All of us, the cake eaters, have gone away.
Yes, have already gone away. And actually, the going away is felt right at the reception when everyone else is beginning to leave.
Yes.
And yes, thank you, welcome by, welcome by, welcome by. And then you look for your friend. And from then on, it is the two of you. It has been, like I mentioned, it has been seasons. There have been bright seasons and quite dark seasons, I should say. Yes.
People think that when you're still 2 months in marriage, 5 months, even 1 year, that you don't have the dark side of that. It's all rosy, it's glossy, you're still in the honeymoon.
Yes.
You know, people think young marrieds have no challenges.
No challenges, no problem. Oh my goodness.
That's why you even hear songs like Omukwano Gunyuma, because they think that at the start it is all rosy, love, 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 love in the air, and no challenges.
Oh no, there are challenges. Because one thing that should be known, and I bless the Lord that I had, was premarital counseling, moving with some strong biblical men, both in the Father's Union and others who are connected through life's experiences and that God has brought along. And that brought about a bit of opening that actually when you reach on the other side, you are two different people. You are both sinners. And
you are sinners in love.
Sinners in love.
Wow.
And if God blesses you enough, you're both hungering for Him and trying to seek Him, both in the marriage that you are both before the marriage came and now in the marriage as well, that you're both seeking Him. That even if you're both seeking Him, you're still both sinners. You're both have different communication languages, and the differences become more significant right there together. My wife and I had never spent a night in the same house. We had never been together till very late, until our marriage day. And after that we started living together, and then that's when we got to know our differences. Some of them, the smallest things can actually spark the biggest flames. Like
that's a quotable quote. What have you just said? The smallest things can spark
the biggest flames.
The biggest flames. The smallest things can spark
the biggest
flames.
Yes.
In other words, at that stage, you're still sweating the little stuff.
Yes.
Small things can actually spark the biggest flames.
Very true. Yes, very, very true. From the small, even if it's just a conversation like we are having now, the way you anticipate or comprehend a statement that has been made, or the way you request for something. I may request for something, but the way you'll get it will be different from either the tone that is being meant, the facial expression, your experiences from before, while growing up, how your communication, like it's different. And some of those tiny things, that's when you get to know, oh, okay, no, you do this differently. I do this differently. Even the tastes of food, some things we are blessed enough to know from before, like from the longest time. My family knows me and my wife knows me to have not just a sweet tooth. You've heard of people who have a sweet tooth.
Who likes to eat sweet
who like
foods, like
sweet
cakes
food.
And
a joke that runs in is me, I don't have a sweet tooth. I have a sweet mouth, even the throat and the intestines all the way. Like I have a very sweet tooth, and I love sweet things. So I have to work on controlling that.
Indeed.
My wife, on the other hand, sweet things make her tummy ache.
Oh dear.
And yet she's a very beautiful baker.
Beautiful baker.
She
does baking.
Yeah, she does baking.
Wow.
Excuse me. Yes, she does bake, and for leisure, really. I think for me. Sorry. Just a minute.
So indeed, you realize that, and now I know that for you, it's even what's the word they use? It's cross-culture. You are in a relationship whereby you come from the eastern part of the country, and she also comes from the western part of the country, specifically the Midwest. The way you do things in the East is different from the way they do things in the West. So you not only have these different kinds of differences that are maybe just biological, that are maybe just family backgrounds, but also you have the cultural aspect of the differences that you have to be able to harmonize at that youngest stage of the marriage. I want to believe that that compounds the challenges even much more.
Yes, it does compound it more.
Yeah.
It does compound it more. Sorry,
Yeah.
I'm having a bit of a cold. But yes, it does compound it. For example, my wife is comfortable serving food while kneeling. She wants to
while kneeling.
kneel, serve food.
Yes.
I have not seen that.
What when you say you have not seen that?
It is not much in our culture.
Oh, yes.
And growing up, I know wife and husband to be dear friends.
Yes.
And so, to me, why is my friend kneeling?
Why is your friend kneeling for you?
We are equals in this. I am the leader, but then we are the two of us are one. So
for you, when you look at the kneeling bit, you interpret it as...
Yes, I interpret it as her
like an imbalance of power in this relationship.
I feel like she's lowering herself, which yes, scripture says we do, but to me now it's uncomfortable, especially because of the cultural upbringing. Yes,
because in some other cultures, if she kneels down, this man will feel so happy. In their culture, that's how you show respect. In yours, it's different.
Yes, and she wants to do this, and it actually was a point of conversation that, by the way, this is not really for me. So let's try to work it out, and so there's a balance that has to be met. Now here I mentioned mine, it may be laughable because we worked it out, but I'm sure there are couples who are having it tough. This cultural man prefers her to kneel, prefers her to cook in a certain way. The way she has been raised or the cultural background that she has is different, and so that causes a bit of
friction.
Yeah, a bit of friction.
I once met another pair of lovely human beings who were preparing to get into marriage. And I met them. We were talking, seated somewhere at the student center in Chambogo University. And it was tumultuous. You know why? Because they were also coming from different cultures. The gentleman from the gentleman's culture, you don't greet your mother-in-law or father-in-law, you don't shake hands. You only stand at a distance and say hello, hello from a distance. In the culture of the young girl, they hug, you lift the person in the air and swing their feet.
My goodness.
And then also, in the culture of the young man, they kneel. In the culture of the young lady, they don't kneel. This caused trouble before marriage even.
My God.
Yes, the lady went to visit the man's home, and she was disturbed. I remember she said, can you imagine? You kneel for everyone in the whole village. I said, are you sure you kneel for the whole village? Amplifying it because of how she was feeling about it. And then also the gentleman, the young man, when he went also to visit the lady's parents, this is what happened. Because this is what the lady said herself. She said, can you imagine? Mom asked me that what kind of a human being am I bringing to be my husband? Because when mom saw him coming, she came running to greet him, and he did like this, the hands put them at the back.
Ouch.
So the mother goes back into the room, calls the daughter and says, what kind of human beings have you brought?
Yes.
I was going to greet him and he ran away. Cultural differences. And that leads me to my next point of curiosity. What are some of the specific challenges that most young married men specifically encounter?
Yes. Some of the specific challenges will start from right where you ended. Relationship with in-laws. Yes. I have been blessed enough not to have this as a challenge.
Yes.
But I know some marrieds who have this as a challenge.
Yes.
The tension between in-laws. The in-laws and either the wife or the husband. And so that itself is quite pulls and can be a big stress.
Indeed.
Yes, that
and if it's not well managed, it can really cause much more trouble.
Yeah.
I remember I know a couple where it was causing them a big challenge. Now for them it was the mom of the man. So even after the wedding, the mom she was living nearby, so she kept passing by every evening to ask the bride, the daughter-in-law, what she has cooked for her son.
Goodness.
So what have you prepared for my son this evening?
It is no longer home. Oh my God.
Yeah, dealing with in-laws.
Yes, dealing with in-laws is one of the problems or the challenges that some young couples, some young men may face and may have to deal with. The second thing is communication. On the other side, before getting married, it can be almost look straightforward because you are chasing and you're being sick and
just sweet talking each other.
Sweet talking each other. But then when you cross onto after the elections,
on the wedding day.
After the wedding day, when you cross over to the other side, communication. Some people take some things very lightly, like the 5 love languages that are out there. We speak and communicate the love differently.
Pause. Have you heard about that important concept of the 5 love languages? Did you know that different people feel loved differently? A man called Gary Chapman wrote a book called The 5 Love Languages. And he says some people feel loved, one, when they are given words of affirmation. Words of affirmation. You tell them how smart they are, how they have dressed well, how the hair looks nice, how he spoke very well at the public function. He feels loved, she feels loved. Words of affirmation. For some other people, it is acts of service. You find him doing something and you help him, he feels that you love him. She's working on something, you come and offer a hand of help, of assistance, she feels loved. Because her love language is acts of kindness. For some people, others, it is quality time. If you put aside everything and you sit down in a chair with him or her and talk for the next 1 hour, she feels so much loved. For other people, it is receiving gifts. If you come with a book like this is my most recent book. It came out last week. Honorable Leadership. The 7 reliable strategies for becoming a highly influential leader beyond your generation. You come with this book and you say, I found a nice book for you. Please, can you have it and read it? Oh, wow, you thought about me and you brought for me a gift. They will feel so much loved. And for others, it is physical touch. A hug, a handshake, holding hands while moving, a tap on the back, to mention but a few. That is what he is mentioning. So in case you hadn't interfaced it, think about it. Words of affirmation, acts of service, receiving gifts, quality time, and physical touch. Get to know the love language of your spouse and start to communicate love to them in their language, not in your language that you would like to receive love. Go right ahead.
Yes, and so that actually stands out to be something very significant, because if you speak a language that is yours, like me, I'm now going to give an example. I'm not going to mention my love language, but if mine is quality time, let's assume that mine is,
because some girl was going to strategize.
I'm telling you, so I have to strategize and protect the family.
Yes.
So yes, if mine is quality time, then I would want to give quality time to my wife. I want to be with her most of the time, and that's how I am communicating my love for her. But hers, say, is acts of service, meaning she may appreciate me doing the dishes once in a while, washing, mopping up the house, yes, or going to do the grocery shopping with her, or separate. So that is what she may anticipate. But then I am constantly speaking in a language that is not hers, and so her tank will be empty. A number of people do not invest in actually getting to know there are people on the other side. And these languages change over time. They are molded. And so from the tender age as a young married, when you're now living together, it can be tricky to get to know. And actually that is a challenge that may come and may be fixed with communication as well. Because it needs back and forth communication to constantly learn our spouse. And there's time management now.
Okay. Time management is another challenge.
Yes, time management is another challenge
that
young married men face. And this is the work-life balance. Is what I am talking about. And that has also been a challenge for me particularly. Both of us being doctors.
Yeah, both of you are medical doctors. You and your wife.
Yes, having different schedules at work and then coming back home. Either you are exhausted, either one has been off or you've been on duty, I mean. The different schedules when you get back now home, balancing what happened at work and then coming to spend the quality time to communicate, to learn your partner's love language is actually tougher than it seems. And a number of young men out there are trying to balance different jobs and are known to be the financial person. Culturally it's known we are the financial heads. And so balancing the different gigs out there versus the home, handling the home, it becomes quite a tricky one, and it's a tight balance that young men get to deal with. And then conflict resolution and forgiveness.
Conflict resolution.
Yes, conflict resolution is one of them as well. The challenges that is faced.
Because conflict will be there. As long as two people come together, there will be a disagreement. There will be divergence of opinion.
Yes. And it is actually, it's one of the things that blessed me and helped me with premarital counseling and interacting with great men like you, my father, and a number of different men who are already married and have been married for quite a number of years and are pursuing Christ. To know that we are actually sinners and we are different. If you enter, for those who are hoping to get married and for those who are married, you must already know this, that once you're getting in, you know that you are a sinner. You know you're not perfect. You know your own weaknesses. Some of them you do not know. You know your own faults, whether it is communication, the sin that you may be struggling with, your bad habits that are in there, those who are spending too much time on YouTube, or those who are spending too much time with other different friends and not prioritizing their marriage.
Who still live like singles when they have gotten married.
Yes, they've gotten married and they view the ring as a jail instead of as a crown. Like the palace, your wife is like a palace in there. You have to build a palace around her. So that is tricky. And once you get together, you will disagree on the smallest things, like we have talked about. Whether the way she has served food, say like now for me, she has served food while kneading. And it has caused a bit of like, my dear wife, you don't have to, you know. And she has to. Or now for another couple who the man will want her to kneel, and that one day she doesn't kneel.
It causes a conflict.
It causes a conflict.
Let me tell you, in my first year of marriage, the pace of walking was the source of our problem. I used to be somebody who walks quickly, and if I am going somewhere, I am going. You would see even how I'm walking. I am a man on a mission. I'm going somewhere. Then I married this graceful queen who will take her time and walk like the queen she is. Man, it causes conflict. Yes. I come out of the house, we are going somewhere, and as soon as I step outside on the veranda, I'm like a rocket. Then I reach the other side, I look back, she's still far away, say, hey, please, can't you hurry? And she also says, but where are you running? Can't you? I had to learn to tone it down. So conflict can come from any angle.
It always comes, and it is key to know about how to resolve this.
So I'm hearing issues to do with relationship with in-laws, challenges around communication and understanding love languages, challenges of managing time, challenges of work-life balance. I often call it work-life integration for some personal reasons, matters of conflict resolution, to mention but a few. Now, talking of empowering that kind of a young married man to stand strong and be the family leader that he is supposed to be. The Fathers Union organized for you a groom shower.
Oh yes.
We always hear bridal shower,
Yes,
bridal shower, bridal
yes.
shower, but the man is often not given attention to. You were blessed to have the Fathers Union organize for you a groom shower.
Yes.
Briefly, in just about a minute or a minute and a half, how did it go and how did it help you?
Yes. It was 18th.
18th.
Yes, of April. Yes, this very year, when the fathers at my church decided and organized. They had already organized it from before, but they came and sat at my father's place.
Yes.
We had a number of husbands, newlyweds,
Yes.
those single
Senior
men as
citizens.
well who were single like me at that time. And we had also mothers who were
yeah,
there.
few mothers came
Sisters
around.
were also there. Yes, and we sat together in one room, breaking bread and having conversation. And it was beautiful. There was no hiding the curtain. A number of these points were hit, all the way from the cross-cultural differences, the
Yes.
communication, the work-life balance, in-laws, friends, the spiritual leadership, being a priest, bedroom matters.
Yes.
Like there was a frank conversation on all these different things. That was quite interesting and was actually a beautiful conversation to have.
Yes.
On the honeymoon as well. Picking
Oh.
my
During your honeymoon, you talked about that.
Yes, I definitely took some notes.
Yes.
Actually, that's a lie. I took many notes.
Not
we
some,
shared-
but a lot.
Yes, and we shared these, and they have played a good foundation.
So far.
Yes, so far.
Yeah. Wow. That's awesome to know. And one other interesting thing that happened, unlike many other young men who get married, is that you joined the Fathers Union immediately.
Yes.
In fact, to be clear and specific, you joined the Fathers Union on your wedding day.
On the wedding
To
day.
make it clearer, during the wedding service.
Yes.
Particularly, immediately after being declared husband.
Husband and wife.
And
I turned and made my
curiously,
announcement. Yes.
what motivated you to join the Fathers Union even immediately?
At my church, St. John's Church, Kamucha. The Fathers Union is very active. These gentlemen have meetings every 2 weeks.
Yes.
And they meet and talk about issues dealing with their families and relating it to Christ and relating it to the Lord. And this has been going on for the longest time that I can remember. Dad has been part of that.
Yes.
My elder brother, one of my elder brothers,
Yes.
that I follow, that is the 6th, we are 8. He's the 5th, I'm the 6th. He joined Fathers Union as well, more than 5 years ago. And they've been attending these meetings. On top of that, these fathers have no shame. They don't hold back their fund that they have. Once a year, that is in June, they have a whole week that is called the Model Fathers Week.
Yes.
That they dedicate to serving the community and the church. And at the end of this, they crown it with St. Peter's Day celebration.
Yes.
And on that day, every father gladly picks out a gift for his wife, and they take their wives out. And then they invite beautiful and renowned speakers who then share a number of different things that touch their marriages.
Yes.
And how they can grow.
Yeah.
You can imagine having all this going on every time, and mom will come back with this gift. Then my brother is married to his beautiful wife,
Linda Oyebe.
Linda Oyebe. Yes, who also comes back with her gifts, and I'm just looking.
As a young man,
I'm a young man, and
a
I'm
single man, you're watching from a distance.
I'm watching from a distance. Even I try to come close. Can't you people just invite us? I truly wanted to push for the single men. Ask single men to come and
As guests?
Yes, as guests. Like, nope. In order for you to be part of this, you must be married.
Get married.
Get married first. You can imagine how eager I was to join
Yes.
Fathers Union.
Wow.
And so beautifully it was arranged, and I committed. to join Fathers Union. And this June, actually last June, I was part of those people who bought amazing gifts for his wife. Wow. It felt good to be part of that team. I was in the organizing committee.
New life altogether.
That much. New life altogether.
Yes.
Yes, so I was that eager. Yeah, very inspired by
I hear you. And now, from that background of all this that you have shared, I see we have about 10 minutes to the end of this program. I wish we had like 2 hours or something.
My, 3, make it 3.
When you look at these different challenges that the young married men go through, and some of these opportunities like the Fathers Union and other groupings, what would you say is the support or the kind of empowerment that the young married men need so as to be established as strong and solid family heads themselves? What kind of support? How should the young married men be supported, empowered, and so on and so forth?
Yes.
Practically, so that somebody can start to do it tomorrow morning.
Practically, mentorship is one of the things. Mentorship is one of the key things that the young men need. And this is interacting with godly men, both who have just gotten married and those who have lived and been married longer, who have passed and know where the landmines are, who have the scars of battling the explosions and dealing with the different seasons. We need that.
Mentorship.
Not to give up that habit of fellowshipping with godly men. Yes, that is one of the things that is very, very, very necessary. Yes, and through that, get to know a number of these different things. Like for me, this is happening in Fathers Union. One of the places it is happening in Fathers Union. A second thing that the young married men need is being grounded in the Word. Being grounded in the Word and pursuing Christ first before anything else makes you know actually that you are a sinner and you are weak, and you will keep seeking Him. That even when your spouse falls short, us Christian married men, we are called to love our wives as Christ loved the church, and He lay His life down for her. That even when people were spitting on Him and were beating Him up, He said, forgive them. For they don't know what they are doing. That means that for Him, He knew what He was doing. Yes, He knew what He was doing. His focus where it was. That even your wife, during the different seasons that may come, just like they may come for you, the joyful days and the sad days, that you continue pursuing. If your eyes are fixed on Him, then you will be able to tolerate and train and grow together throughout the different seasons. That's one of the other things. Okay, so grounding the young married men in the Word of God, so they can pursue Christ and have that character to handle their wives better. And then investing in personal growth is actually also one of the things. Like I mentioned, first is the mentorship, which may be from the godly men that you are having, and then being grounded in the Word, but then also a number of different books like these that you have. Purchasing and investing in these, someone to love. Honorable leadership. Engaging in such books, and something that can make it even more interesting is not to do it alone. When you do it, have this conversation with your wife. Review what has been done. She has a unique eye because she's with you most of the time, or in a unique way that she will see your faults and could easily point them out, and you to receive them gracefully, and also to see your strengths and the areas that you're working on. So that's just to mention a few of things that godly young men need. The young married men need to actually have support and empowerment. I hear you. So the aspect of mentorship, interacting with godly men, so that they can learn from them. And indeed, the word mentor, a mentor is an experienced and trusted senior advisor, if I can put it that way. You know, yes, it's an experienced and trusted senior advisor. If you could think of one thing in a mentorship relationship, it could be the word experience. That somebody has gone through it
I liked what you talked about. He has gone through the landmine. He knows where the bombs are, how to detonate some and all that kind of stuff. And the person shares experience. And you've talked of being grounded in the Word, that these young married men can be equipped with the Word of God, so that they can pursue Christ soberly, which would impact on their own character development, and thus position them to handle their wife and their children appropriately. And then investing in personal growth. What I'm picking from this is that I need to be able, as somebody who is having young married men in my life, to point them to opportunities for personal growth. Show them a book that can help. Send them a flyer I have met somewhere that is talking about a marriage seminar coming up. You know, opportunities for personal growth, which is very critical. And so as we almost bring this to a close, what would be your message to your fellow young married men who are watching right now? Just look into that camera and speak to those young married men like you. What is your message for them?
So young married men like me out there. One, know that you are a sinner. You are going to fail, and it cannot work with you alone. In order for you to have this work, you need to lean in on the author of this thing called marriage. Otherwise, you're going to fail at it. You need to seek God first. Embrace the Word. And this means it's an everyday thing. It does not just, you don't become perfect at it. It's going to be a lifetime growth process. Find some elderly people who are growing in the Word as well and in the Lord, and have this experience and have conversations with them. They have so much to offer us. I have been blessed by a number of these different conversations that I have had, and a few things that I have brought forward and applied have made my wife a very happy wife.
Amazing. Amazing. Now, those young married men that you have just talked to, they have wives. I want to strongly believe that those young ladies also are going through the same challenges of their own, because they have also come into this situation of a marriage. They have never been married. I believe majority have never been married. They are also undergoing all these challenges that you talked about the young married men. But also, you have now helped them to realize, from your perspective as a young married man, what their husbands could be going through, even if they sometimes don't talk about it. So what could be your message, as we wrap this up, to the wives of your fellow young married men? Talk to those sisters.
So dear sisters out there, you are married to sinners. And I pray that you know that you are also a sinner. That you people desperately need the Lord to actually help you through this. One of the things that you might already know, or might not know, is that you offer such strength to your husbands in ways that you can't even comprehend. Getting to know their love languages, being patient with them, your kind and tender voice and touch when they get back home from an exhausting day, other than complaining back and forth, but you being present for them gives them a strength to stand up and face the world in ways that you cannot imagine. And I pray that the Lord may help you to be that suitable helper that your husband needs.
Amazing. I am amazed at the level of wisdom that God has put upon your life. You speak like an elder indeed. Yes, I remember some time ago, I was in a conference many years ago, and the person who had been invited to speak to us, all of a sudden, like we say, from nowhere, but of course it's not nowhere. It is somewhere divine. All of a sudden, from nowhere, he pointed at me in the audience and said, "Stand up, stand up, stand up." I stood up. And then he said, "The Lord is going to give you the wisdom of the elders, and your fathers will call you their brother. Sit down." I have not forgotten those words. This was a long time ago. I still remember that man of God. He said, hey, you, stand up, stand up, stand up. God is going to give you the wisdom of the elders, and your fathers will call you their brother. Wow. And I have seen it happen.
And the wisdom has been...
I have seen it. So I want to thank God for the wisdom that I hear you oozing. The wisdom that comes out of you, the soberness that I see in your life. I have known you for a number of years, and I really appreciate the man that you are becoming with time. I appreciate the kind of person that God is making you, and I want you to know that I strongly believe in you myself. I've seen you, I've watched you even before you got married 5 months ago, and you know how I was so happy to get involved in your wedding preparations and the whole journey. I was part of that team that organized your groom shower. I was the one who initiated you into Father's Union on your wedding day. I believe in you. And I want to pray that God will continue to give you his wisdom and strengthen you, that you will be a courageous man of substance, that you will be a strong man of integrity as you lead your family, as you offer direction, as you offer strategic leadership over your family that God has called you to do. He has blessed you with a beautiful, wonderful wife, Dr. Ruth. And I have shared with her before, I've talked with her. She also has an interesting, wonderful spirit in her. I strongly believe that you can build a wonderful marriage and build a strong family. Amen. I am rooting for you. I am cheering you on. Thank you. Please make it work, because it is more than possible. And thank you for sharing all these nuggets of wisdom that you have shared with us today, so that we can listen, learn, and therefore go and implement. And now, ladies and gentlemen, you have heard what we have shared here, what Dr. Oluka has shared with us, as from his personal experience as a young married man. We need to know that they are experiencing the things we experienced. I've been in marriage. This is now the 15th year of my marriage with the Honorable Charity Miss Universe, the queen of my heart, my watermelon. 15 years of our marriage. I mean, these are the things that we went through. Interestingly, these are the things that even people who have been in marriage for 9 years, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years can still encounter if they don't continue to work on these things very well. He has left us with 3 key things we need to go and work on. The issue of mentoring the young married men. Create time for the young married men. Speak with them. Mentor them. He has spoken about grounding them in the Word. Can we share with these young married men about the Word of God that can elevate their thinking, expand their mindset, and give them a better perspective, not only to life on earth, but life beyond the grave? And he has also talked about investing in personal growth. Let us give those young married men opportunities to grow. Opportunities to grow. Sometimes by speaking to them in different ways. So God bless you. Thank you for watching today. Let's go and help and empower the young married men.
And I'm a one woman. So we have to take a lot of pain, a lot of effort to teach children how to get along with one another.
Your raw material is money.
Of course.
But it is not your money.
It is not
That
yours.
is the biggest challenge.